take the biggest money possible for him.
让我们首先来认识一下蓝角选手。
It could be Jazza Dickens in Liverpool next year.
Absolutely, Jim, I was thinking that. Although Jazza, of course, once he's beaten Rigo, he's got real, genuine belief. But if not, he fancies chances.
Well, I think you know, listen, it's a hard ass to beat Rigo, though, and I know he fancies it, and so he should have. You know, he's a confident kid, but it's a hard ass. But it's almost a no-lose situation for me. He doesn't feel like this, Jazza Dickens. He finds that disrespectful, but this is how everyone else I see it. It's a no-lose situation. If he puts up a good performance, then he can get a crack at someone like Semedo. He's in that mix then straight away.
Good luck to him. We're looking forward to that, Bill. And he is full of belief for that Cardiff contest in July 16th. Here, though, our top of the bill.
Just the 1 loss and 4 draws. I give you the challenger for the WBA Super Featherweight World Title, Jason El Canito Sosa.
Jason Sosa then, making his way to the ring. A tough man, of course, from Compton, straight out of Compton, New Jersey, though. And he'll have sprung to many people's attention when he went at the distance with the Axeman. Nicholas Walters, of course, back in December. A draw over 10 it was, surprising many. Just look back on the footage and you'll see the reaction of Walters as one of the abiding memories of that particular contest. But he held his ground when he needed to, and he didn't bow before the Axeman as many had done before. So he is a tough, hard guy. Up to super feather. And it'll be interesting to see how he can compete. Throws a really good left hook, particularly to the body, Sosa. Is he quite good enough? Are those hands fast enough against a guy like Fortuna?
好，接下来要出场的这位拳手，他是 WBA 超羽量级世界金腰带的拥有者，所以说这次的比赛呢，也是他的第2次卫冕战，让我们来认识一下他。
And next, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner, he is the defending champion. Weighed in last night officially 58.9 kilos. He hails from La Romana, the Dominican Republic. Professional fight record, 29 wins, 21 by way of KO, 0 losses, and just the 1 draw. Tonight, he makes the 2nd defense of his WBA world title. He is the reigning, defending WBA Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Javier El Ambion Fortuna.
Here comes the champion then, having already defended this belt once, putting it on the line for the 2nd time tonight. Javier Fortuna, the 26-year-old from the Dominican Republic, now bases himself out of Massachusetts in America, southpaw to boot, and on a bit of a roll. Yet to taste defeat. This is 30th contest tonight, and he's got as well quite a smattering of stoppage victories as well. Last time we saw him, he was in a really good contest with Carlos Velasquez. He'd only lost once previously. He overcame the Puerto Rican in 10 rounds back in September. The The old Ali Bundini Brown T-shirts that you can see from his crew. Yeah, Ali, Rumble, young man Rumble, it says on the back.
Fortuna! So ladies and gentlemen, standing across in the blue, the challenger, Jason El Canito Sosa. And across in the red, the defending champion, Javier Fortuna. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll have our two fighters to center ring as we fight for the WBA Super Featherweight World Title. Introducing to you as well our referee in charge, the third man in the middle, Mr. Raul Caiz Jr. Your judges ringside, Stanley Christodoulou, Gustavo Padillo, and Francisco Martinez. Let both fighters to center ring.
It's interesting the way they do it, isn't it? All the introductions are done before they get to the ring, and then they just crack on. Which is quite good. And normally it's such an extended build. It must be odd for the boxers. Well, not odd, they're used to it now, but you know, when you're in there, once you actually get to the ring, you've built yourself up, you go through the ring walk, and you got to wait. It takes like 7, 8, 9 minutes.
Once the ring walk, once you put your foot through the rope, you just want to start fighting, and that's it. You're in it.
All right, gentlemen, you received the instructions in the dressing room. Know what I expect? A good, clean fight. Ya recibieron las instrucciones de una pelea limpia. Legal punches, here for you, here for you. Touch gloves, good luck to both of you.
Boxing refereeing family.
For round number one
Junior
for the WBA Super
taking charge of this one. Fortuna against Sosa. Looking forward to this. Barry, you've seen a bit of Fortuna. What do you make of him?
He's exciting. He can punch, and he's awkward, but he's also a little bit wild. Can be a little bit. Let's see, throws punches below the belt. Put it that way. He'll hit you on the knees and everything.
And can he be hit?
Oh, it's too much. Again, we've seen that against Velasquez, and that fight. You know, he got the stoppage, but he had to take a lot of shots before that. You know, he makes a lot of mistakes, but because he got so much power, though, I think that disguises a lot of that. But also Sosa as well. He's not a hard target to find. So you know, it's going to be a fight that pretty much who can hit the hardest, and you fancy Fortuna in that category. And
he's strong and rugged, Sosa, isn't he? He does throw quite sort of heavy punches, probably a little slow. But he'll come here with real attitude, particularly maybe buoyed by the result against Walters.
Yeah, even though, you know, nobody, maybe except for him and his corner, and the judges thought it was anywhere near a draw. You know, even thought it was a clear win for Walters. But you know, he did well to stay in there last distance. He took, you know, Walters, who knows a tremendous puncher, and he took the punches off Walters. So there's no reason to think where he can't take the punches off Fortuna. Bear in mind that was a featherweight, but Walters didn't make the weight, so he was practically boxing a super featherweight anyway at the time. So they're both going to have plenty of opportunities to land shots, that's for sure.
Well, let's hope it's quite fiery, respectful at the start through the opening minute. You see Fortuna trying to move out of range, but behind that Floyd Mayweather-esque shoulder. Not always easy to perfect, doesn't always work. Straight away with that, no knockdown. Plenty of feints from both of them, Barry.
Yeah. I think that's sometimes the way, you know, when you're both stalking, looking for the openings, a little feint sometimes, you know, just make the guy a little bit twitchy. If you can draw the lead with a feint, then you've got a clear target to hit.
Certainly a positive start from Sosa. He's the one trying to come forward.
Just quicken the feet up then, Sosa, just to get closer to the target. Didn't really make enough of that success, but it was a good little move. Just what they say, he's a little bit slow, hand and foot, but then just quicken his feet up quite impressively.
Yeah, he's certainly looked that way, you know, the footage I've been watching of him. Fortuna's not doing much here.
No, Fortuna's looking for the clean target. You can see he's holding that left hand there, it's cocked up there by his chin, looking just to let it go, but gotta be careful, you know, you don't just give these rounds away. We're trying to look for that great finish, because he knows he can punch.
I tell you what, he missed by a millimetre with that right hand. Fortuna.
10 seconds, stop the bell. Time to punch.
A little flurry at the end from Fortuna, but he missed.
Works terrible for Fortuna, he really is. He brings that foot forward, he squares himself up and gives you opportunities to land, but he does carry a lot of power though, and he is very awkward and gangly.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because there's almost a perception that southpaws are just naturally sort of slicker, more skillful, better footwork. It's not always the way.
I'll tell you what they are, is hated.
By fellow boxers, indeed.
But you can never look good against it, even if you can beat the southpaw. I've never lost to a southpaw, by the way, but you can never look good against them. They're so awkward and horrible. But not so much because there's so many southpaws nowadays in the amateur boxing. I think that sort of changed. I think boxers are used to it more than ever before.
You surprised we've not got more converted southpaws? Or I mean, the guys like Cotto and Barrera are left-handed, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't know why you would change. I don't know why they didn't box the southpaw. You know, and De La Hoya was the one. I think he was left-handed who boxes an orthodox fighter. Right? I just think there's so much advantages when you are a southpaw, especially with the jab. Well, for a minute, up to now, Fortuna's done nothing at all.
Yeah, whether he's just having a look at Sosa or whether he's just waiting for a big shot or the perfect moment, who knows? But unbeaten, unblemished. He does have the punch, 21 knockouts in 29 of those victories. Like 3 of his last 4, 5 of his last 7, and quite a few of them have tended to be early as well. And is he the sort of guy that just has natural power? I mean, he carried it through to the 10th last time against Velasquez. I mean, 17 inside the first 3 prior to that, Barry. Yeah,
he is a natural puncher, and he's loose when he throws, so that's shows his natural punching. He doesn't load up too much heavy, like Sosa's total opposite, isn't he? He's all muscle bound and looking to real fire those shots in, real push him in really hard. He wants to make it feel, so they're heavy shots rather than snappy punches, where Fortuna got more of a snap that he'll hit you clean.
Just no rhythm at all in his work so far.
Well, Sosa's not having a lot of success, but he's the only one trying to fight at the minute. Even that, it sounds heavy, but that's pretty much blocked, isn't it, by Fortuna.
Oh, big clubbing right hand. And suddenly he lets his hands go, Sosa. Belatedly, right at the end of the second round. Just sort of almost caught him with a big clubbing right hand over the top and on the top of the head.
Sosa felt it as well, didn't he, for the first time. Felt a little bit of pop, and it's natural power, as you said earlier on, because he's loose with his shots.
It was almost sort of as an afterthought, wasn't it?
It's weird, I don't think it is though. It's just he's so ungangly. The way he throws his punches, he's off balance when he throws. He always seems to land, and It's just the way his style is.
Well, belatedly, Javier Fortuna has woken up. Is that just a portent of fireworks to come? Third round then of the scheduled 12, this super featherweight division, the WBA belt up for grabs, being defended by Javier Fortuna in the yellow and gold trunks for the second time. He's not done that much so far in the opening 2 rounds. About a little flurry at the end of the second.
Good start of the round there from Sosa again. Nice straight right hand right on the centre of the guard, and a left hook as well to follow.
He actually beat Miguel Cotto's cousin, didn't he? Fortuna.
Abner.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a couple of years ago. Stopped him in 5.
Fortuna offering his chin there to Sosa.
He's not what you call a stylist, is he? At all.
No, but we want to see a bit more of that, though, don't we? Him letting his hands go. I think Sosa, good upper body movement there, good lateral movement, bobbing and weaving there from Sosa to stay out of trouble. But Fortuna landed with a couple to start that little combination.
Oh, I don't know. I think this pair could have a really fun scrap if they just decided just to fight. Fun for us.
Yeah.
And those watching. Not so fun, maybe, to be in there taking a belt on the head. At the moment, Fortuna's just fighting in little spurts. I suppose the danger when you do that, Barry, is that I always think this, you know, it's all very well blocking punches, but is it obvious that you're blocking punches?
Yeah, it's not always obvious, no. And obviously the judges will count, but from the back of the arena, that looks like you're getting hit. So, you know, that's why you get a lot of crowds booing sometimes at decisions which they think a fight's closer than it is. But, oh, lovely uppercut there from Sosa.
Oh, he's caught him again. Fortuna.
Oh, that's what I meant, Fortuna. Lovely uppercut from Fortuna, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, and he does look like he carries the balance of power.
But it's not forced, his power either, is it? It's all nice and smooth where he throws his punches. And he's so unorthodox as well when he lets his hands go. He doesn't hold his hands unorthodox. He's quite, quite solid. But when he lets his hands, when he throws his punches, they come from unusual angles.
Ooh, that was a nice little right hand from Sosa. Yeah, you can tell it landed. Hence the reaction from Fortuna.
10 seconds.
I think there's a Spanish cigarette called Fortuna. This one looks like it might just catch fire. Of course, like Barry, I'm a complete non-smoker, but I'm sure I've read about it. Yeah, there was that little uppercut you mentioned. Did he catch him on the chest, nearly on the throat with that, Barry?
No, I think he caught. I think I caught him on the chin. I'm pretty sure it did. It was a lovely shot. It was a nice little right hook there.
And does he fight the way he fights because he's just got such belief and conviction in his power? You know, that sort of almost slightly lazy.
Yeah, I think so. I think when you carry, I've never had it. I would know. But I think when you carry a natural power, you know that one punch can change the fight for you. So you can box in that knowledge where you don't have to panic about winning every single round. But I still think it's a risky tactic, because if a guy takes a great punch or he's a better boxer than you give him credit for, you don't want to be chasing a fight too much. But I still think that was a round for Fortuna for me, that one. I thought he landed with even though Sosa was busier, I think Fortuna's quality in those couple of little attacks was enough.
So into round 4 then. That's better, yeah. It was about the right punch to throw against the southpaw. I think it's the first time we've seen that really come into play.
No, he did in the beginning of the last round. Good right hand on the centre of the guard and a left hook. And then that was it then.
He looked for it again.
He looked to shorten at that time, looked to throw it over the top.
I suppose that's the thing, you know, a bit like a baseball pitcher, slightly varying the pace and angle of the pitch.
Yeah, of course. Well, especially weights a shot, you know, someone can be heavy-handed, but without the snap, you can get used to that. You know, it's that acceleration at the last quarter, the last third of the punch is what really, you know, puts fighters to sleep.
I think that's what Foreman did to Moura, didn't he? I think he kept sort of just kind of slightly pawing with a jab,
clubbing, and bang.
Yeah, and then suddenly a big one. You probably get lulled in thinking, right, this is what's coming, this is what's coming, and then boom, there goes something different. Left hand, that just had Sosa juggling back on his heels, and here comes the attack. And there's no doubt when he starts to go for it, Fortuna, people just slowly start reaching forward in their seats.
Yeah, I tell you, they're both showing good upper body movement, good, you know, good head movement as well. Sosa got hit with a body shot, and the onslaught was pretty impressive from Fortuna, but Sosa kept moving. Wouldn't be a stationary target, so it was hard for Fortuna to hit the target clean.
Again, he's copping a couple there, just slightly cuffing, swinging shots from Fortuna, but he's gaining in confidence, playing to the crowd. They like that in China, they love it.
Well, good right hand there from Sosa.
Yeah, he's thinking, just give me one shot, please. I think Sosa's got a good attitude. I don't think he'll be too bothered about any of the nonsense. Good little round. Fortuna's enjoying himself now.
Well, he's boxing well. You just got to be careful he doesn't try and get too clever and think he is the next Muhammad Ali and start dancing around too much, because he haven't got that. I don't think he has that natural ability that Ali had. So just work your strengths.
Have you got it, Barry? Is it level, or is Fortuna just in front?
No, I got it level. I got the first 2 rounds to Sosa and the last 2 to Fortuna. I think the second round was pretty close because Fortuna finished strong, but I think for the majority of the round it was Sosa doing all the work. So yeah, I think it'd either be 3-1 Fortuna or what I got is 2-2 at the minute.
Yeah, same as me, but no doubt Fortuna's the one who's gaining in confidence. I think he thinks if he's not in front, then he's in control and happy with the destiny of this contest.
Well, it has that impression, isn't it? Because when he turns it on, it looks his fight. It's only because Sosa's an honest fighter going out there trying to force the pace.
And boxing abroad here in China. Oh, that was a big left hand. Sosa acknowledged that. I think it was a big dollop of phlegm came flying through the air. He looks like he'd probably take a punch, Sosa.
Well, you do 10 rounds with Nicholas Walters, you can take a punch.
Absolutely. That, of course, back in December. He's only been stopped once, and that was with Trishon back in, when was that, 5-6 years ago, and he stopped in the very first round. That's a guy who's unbeaten in 5-6 years, so no disgrace there. That was very early on in his career.
Hands are free, John. Hands are free. Step back and take a punch. Pull your arm out, Sosa. Your hands are free. There you go. Yes.
Just trying to quicken his feet, as Barry was saying, so he can get close to land the punches. He's blocking that right hand well, though, isn't he?
Yes. Fortuna is, yeah, he is. Keeps that left, you know, he's showboating a little bit, keeps that left hand up really tight. That's better from Sosa. I know he missed with the attack, but a little bit of a spring in his step, so he can just get a little bit of acceleration on his feet to come forward.
I mentioned no stranger to travelling as well for Fortuna. He's been across to Mexico a couple of times. And I thought in Uruguay, the Virgin Islands as well, is splitting his time between his native Dominican Republic and, of course, where he's based now in America. Oh, just missed. Did he just miss with that uppercut?
I think it might. I think Sosa just missed with the right hand, but I think Fortuna might have just tapped him with the uppercut.
Certainly an interesting little contest. You feel that Fortuna's in control of it, and you're always wondering whether he can just produce the explosive finish. Definitely a knockdown. Lands with the left hand, and he exploded into that one. Sosa shakes his head. He definitely was caught with a punch, and he touched down. It's a knockdown. Definitely wasn't hurt. Well, there you go. You feel that's always just around the corner from Fortuna.
Well, Sosa's, like we said this before the fight started, neither one of them, I don't, are too hard to hit. I think Fortuna's been boxed better. I think, you know, been more elusive than I thought, that I can remember him being. But that shot there was a knockdown shot, but it was a sheer weight of the punch, just the power he carries. I don't think it was a punch that really hurt Sosa in his factors, had him in trouble, but the sheer weight of the shot just hit him over, bowled him over.
Quite a few
You're going to see it now. Here now, it looks, hopefully. The left hand right through the guard there. I think the sheer weight of the shot just pushed him back and bowled him over. That's why I think he was a little bit disappointed that he went down. It's a cracking little shot. It really is. Because his hands are up there, Sosa. So Fortuna's done well to either find the gap or just punch through the guard.
So a big turning point potentially. Or an important platform maybe for Fortuna. Or just a reminder of the power that he carries. And the interesting thing is, Barry, about that is often he's throwing punches when he's off balance or his feet are off the floor. Kind of really leaps into some of his shots.
He's madly unorthodox, isn't he? And that they're hard to box people like that, because you just don't know when you're in a safe position with him. So you see him off balance, you think that's your chance to attack, and with someone like Fortuna, that sort of ends up being the worst time to attack when they're walking onto something.
And do you know what, with Sosa, I mean, he really is trying here, Barry, but because you've mentioned before, his footwork isn't that great, so sometimes he's leaving his feet behind, and his chin and his upper body's almost on the chest before his feet can get there. You just wonder if he's going to walk onto one, Sosa.
That is the fit. Well, he has already, hasn't he? Walked onto a shot, literally walked onto it, and I think that's coming again. I think Fortuna wants that to happen. You know, Fortuna could be forcing the fight, I think, if he wanted to, but I think he's enjoying himself. Moving around, he's boxing quite well, he's looking quite sharp, and every time he decides to let his hands go, he looks very, very impressive.
Well, we mentioned how so often fractured the WBA has become within each fighting weight, but this is a belt that's been held by the likes of Manny Pacquiao, Marquez once upon a time, Chris John, of course, had a long reign, the Indonesian, and latterly Gamboa as well.
And Yoel Casamayor, one of the better Cubans as well.
Yeah, what a talent. He was in some really great fights towards the end of his career, wasn't he? He's charismatic, isn't he?
But he got time to turn around and have a little chat with the referee. But listen, because Sosa got slow feet, it's making Fortuna look a little bit of a better boxer or mover than I think he is. But he's still boxing well, and I think he slowed Sosa down with the power shots. where Sosa was really coming out trying to rush him all the time. Now Sosa's not being so adventurous, and he's more educated, trying to be more educated with his attacks. And again, we've said it all throughout tonight, it's about dictating the pace, and especially when you think you're technically the better fighter, if you can slow the pace down, it suits you a lot better. And that's again what's happened here with Fortuna.
Yeah, and the pair of them sort of spider-like and not necessarily easy to read where they're going. Here he goes again at the end of the round, Fortuna.
Just waits a little bit too long, Fortuna. No, he could do a bit more. He's winning, and that's what all that counts, obviously. But he waits sort of for that 30-second mark, and then tries to finish strong, where he could just do this earlier on, and he knows he can hurt Sosa. You know, and to get a stoppage against Sosa as well now would really give a statement with Walters now of the super featherweight whenever he decides to fight again. You know, I think that'll make a massive statement.
Chasing Sosa around the ring at the end of that round, Fortuna. Again, there'll be guys looking at this, looking at Fortuna, thinking that he's definitely beatable.
Well, you think you just got to put pressure on him, don't you? That's what he looks like. He looks a little bit ungangly. You got to put pressure on him, make him work. Because he carries that power, I think that's much easier said than done. As we've seen with Sosa, who could take a good shot.
Was there a low blow there? He almost turned his back, Fortuna.
It's not the first time he's felt he's been hit low, and the referee has waved it off. You can't turn your back. That's the referee's job to notice that. You've got to carry on with your work. We've seen Julius Jackson recently turn his back on one of the Charlo brothers and get knocked out. I think he did it because he got hurt, wasn't quite sure where he was. But you know, turning away from your opponent is, whether you've been hit by a foul or whether you've been hurt, is a dangerous game to play.
Well, he said stop punching, ref, but then they both punch, so he just let them get on with it.
That's good from Sosa there, because Fortuna's lining him up, and he just keeps that little bit of a rocking movement in his body there. Just he's not a stationary target.
Yeah, he's sort of trying to draw Fortuna or not overcommit himself. Yeah, that was quite good.
Well, we talk about people moving your head going forward, or moving your head all the time after you throw a punch, and Sosa there, just the fact that he's constantly moving, even when his feet are still, he's constantly moving that upper body, just makes it harder for a puncher like Fortuna just to line you up for a big shot.
This is a better round for Sosa.
Still a minute to go yet, though.
I think what Sosa's done well is he's just sort of proved stubborn, and any moments in the contention he could just completely take over.
Good right hand there though from Sosa.
Exactly, and Sosa keeps sort of coming back with resistance and a little answer of his own.
And again, good work there from Sosa also.
Letting his hands go. You sense with Fortuna, he is the sort of guy who could completely outwork, and if he's not building up confidence, and he might just be able to dispirit him. Just wonder.
Well, he switches off, doesn't he, Fortuna? He switches off in that round totally. He switches off, and you know, you got to give Sosa credit, and we have, but I think a lot of it's to do with him. Fortuna, when he's switched on, he's dominant. When he's not switched on, Sosa's taking advantage of that. me, a good round there for Sosa. Fortuna was quiet, and also Sosa having the last say in the exchanges as well, when he could.
Interesting. I mean, I think this is close enough as it is. This, even although you think really Fortuna should be winning it, and probably winning it comfortably. The referee just went across to him and said, no holding, no pushing down. Next time I'm going to deduct a point, I think he said. Interesting.
And that's why he shouldn't be messing around now, Fortuna. He can get on with it now. You know, he knows he can hurt the guy. He knows he's better when he's letting his hands go from distance, and do that.
Well, he's come straight out. Spurred on by his corner, the referee, but he's come out this round trying to go at it. Just watching the feet, Barry. You know, so many times in that little exchange, Sosa's, you always talk about the southpaw, he's on the inside, isn't he, with his left hand a lot. I mean, they have got quite spider, herky-jerky actions, the pair of them anyway.
Well, Sosa did really well there with the body movement to stay out of trouble.
They're probably quite an unorthodox pair, really, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. Well, Sosa got shades of Ryan Walsh about him, for me.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Stop. No punch. I'm here. Let him go. Keep your head up. Box.
Ryan's got a bit more sort of balance and poise, but yeah.
Especially that little thing when he just, with the upper body movement, the way he was making Fortuna miss.
And the left hand there just sort of slid off the gloves. It was almost slightly deflected away from the chin there from Fortuna. Nobody's taking over here.
But Sosa's having more success for me in this round. As that can change in an instant with Fortuna. Once he switches on, decides to let his hands go, but he just don't throw enough.
Pull your arms out, Sosa. Your hands are free. Pull your arm out, Sosa. It's free to get out.
There you can hear the referee again. That's sort of holding up close. I think he's warned him a few times about that.
Good jab there from Sosa as well.
Listen for that bell.
Another burst from Fortuna. Do you know what? This pair, there's the potential for real fireworks, and there's also the potential for a really awkward, difficult fight.
We can see it there, the way they both move it up, especially Sosa moving his upper body. Both swinging there, both missing a lot. I still preferred Sosa's work in that round for me. I think he was a little bit busier than Fortuna, who couldn't quite hit the target clean enough and often enough. Lovely upper body movement from that was when I thought I'd seen a little bit of Ryan Walsh in, where he slipping those punches, taking little steps backwards and still keeping that upper body movement.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I gave the 6th round level, Barry. I couldn't really split them. Second, you could argue about, but I feel like Fortuna should be way in front, but I've got it level.
I got Fortuna 1 point up.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of feels like it shouldn't be that close, but it probably is.
Well, some of those early rounds, Fortuna just wasn't busy enough. You know, he knows he carries power, and he just wanted to decide to do little comments like this. But later in the rounds, start faster like he is right now. But also keep in mind that he don't want to blow out, because I think Sosa's a tougher man Well, it's not a tough man to give him credit for. He's a tough man. You know, we give him credit from that from day one. Again, we don't know. No one thinks he deserved the draw against Walters, but just going the distance with Walters was enough. Enough of a victory.
It's like a win, absolutely right. Given the run that Walters was on. Yeah, the Walters who'd previously hammered Darchinian and Donaire within a short space of months. Well, we're down the stretch now. It's getting tight, but certainly Fortuna's come out this round as though he wants to do something.
Well, as always been told, listen, this is tighter than what we wanted it to be. This is a lot tighter than what we thought, and we need to just start closing the show a little bit now, finishing these rounds, starting and finishing these rounds strong. And because he carries so much power, Fortuna, okay, he might not be hitting the target all the time, but it keeps Sosa quiet because he's worried about just evading shots rather than trying to mix it with him. The leg comes up before Fortuna's as well. Sometimes. So his footwork's so bad when he comes forward that someone lifts that front leg up.
And there you see the power, just a little short right hand he threw that had Sosa off balance.
Nice little hook in that exchange there from Fortuna.
Yeah, he's letting his hands go now. And they both are. This is what the crowd want to see. This is what we want to see. Just become a little frustrating. Was that a good body shot?
Great body shot there from Sosa. He looked for that as well. He didn't just throw it. You could see him have a look for the angle. That's good composure under pressure.
Well, he's warned him again. That's the third time he's warned Fortuna for holding. Good right hand there from Sosa. He's had his little successes in this round.
And again with the right hand, but a good left hand back from Fortuna.
Well, the great news is they don't seem to be bothered about defence now. Oh, a couple of big shots at the end. And again from Fortuna.
And look at this upper body movement again from Sosa. I tell you what, Sosa took some good upper body movement to evade some shots, but he took some big hooks there, Sosa, and he didn't even blink. But that was a good effort there from Fortuna from the start to the finish of that round, and enough to give him the round. But Sosa and showing, and he said, "You're not going to knock me out, mate. No chance."
And he landed a couple of crackers when they were just windmilling away, the pair of them at the end of that round. Terrific stuff.
Great stuff. Look at this, both looking to let go. Even Sosa's got to be the one who's got to be more defensive. Look at the upper body, the head movement there, and Sosa making a miss.
Well, just when you were wondering, was it becoming awkward and a bit difficult to watch through a couple of those rounds, suddenly it burst into action, and all of that was because Fortuna decided to fight. And that might be just the edge that he needed to carry him through the closing rounds, but it's definitely up for grabs.
Well, he's got to be honest now, haven't he, Fortuna? He's got to have an honest approach to it, an honest effort. He's got to be busy. I got him ahead by a couple of points now, I think, by now, but you know, it's 3 rounds to go. If he takes some rounds off, he switches off like he have previously in some of the rounds, then Sosa could possibly nick it. But listen, Fortuna, you feel that Fortuna's the better fighter out of the two for some reason. You know, he got the faster hands and the bigger punch, but the strength and the chin of Sosa, and also the head movement he shows under pressure, the composure he shows under pressure, Sosa is quite refreshing.
And you know what? It's been a brilliant first minute for Sosa. He's making Fortuna miss, and he's been punishing him with some left and right hands.
I tell you what Sosa's done here now, with the Walters fight to get the draw, and with this display now, whatever happens, unless he wins, he's doing himself out the work. Because why would you want to fight this fella?
Yeah, good point.
Takes a shot, he's strong, you know, I don't think he's a KO artist, but he's heavy-handed, you can see that. Powerful. And you can't overwhelm him either because he got good upper body movement. Look at this one, Sosa.
Oh, he's all over him. I think he hurts him with the left hook to the body, and he's going after him here. Oh, he's grabbing on. Fortuna, he's in all sorts of bother, hanging on for dear life. He's been warned for that already. Bundled to the ground. Is he going to count this? I think he is.
Yes.
He is. It was a push, but the way he was holding on, Fortuna, perhaps he deserved it.
And I think that body shot left hook, I think it just caught him on the chin because Fortuna was bending low. I think he just wanted to scrape his chin.
Well, how about this for a turnaround? It looked like that Fortuna was just starting to take control, and suddenly, well, the tough, muscular Sosa is finding a way.
No punch.
Oh, unfortunate is this.
Yeah, as the gum shield, the gum shields come out. Oh, this is bottom. Crucial to, and he's taking a point. Well, he spat out the gum shield, says the referee. He's been warned about holding. He's been down in this round. This could be a momentous 10-7, 10th round. Could it get better for Sosa?
Oh, good left hook again there from Sosa.
Oh, he caught him again, he can't miss. He's all over the place. Another left hand, and again Fortuna grabs on. He's all over the place. And that awkward sort of rubbery-legged style of his is exaggerated now. He's under pressure and tiring and hurt.
Oh, you got a point again here. Taken away for that.
Well, he lets him box on. And how he's going to need this minute's rest, Fortuna. No swagger, no cockiness now. Massive round that for Jason Sosa.
Unbelievable round there from Sosa. Just the effort alone, but then that left hook he caught Fortuna with, and in all sorts of trouble. And the knockdown might have been like maybe a punch to the chest. And sort of looked like a half a push, but he was already hurt, Fortuna, holding on for dear life.
Well.
Look at that for a great exchange by both there. Oh, look at that for a left hook. Lovely shot.
Hurt him again, off balance more with the right hand, but it was just the constant pressure and the number of shots that landed. And how much has that taken out of Fortuna? Can he rally again? We've got 2 rounds to go, and Barry, I think you might have 11. I think I've got that 3-point swing just edging Sosa into the lead. That is a huge round either way. It certainly closes the gap if nothing else, but do you know what? The way Sosa's going, it might be immaterial. Forget the calculators and abacus. There's another slashing right hand from Sosa. And there's no doubt Sosa's... Oh, big left hand! Oh, he's got him, he's down! And he must be out. Can he get up? There was 3 huge punches. He is all over the place. He'll do well to get to his feet. He tries to con the referee. No. And I think it's a good stoppage. He hangs his head. But that was a heavy knockdown. Still his legs. You can see the referee, Raul Caiz Jr., he is holding Fortuna up. And the title has changed hands in dramatic circumstances.
Well, you see Joe Smith last week knocking out Fanfare in 1 round. That was the upset of the year, that's so far. And now Sosa beating Fortuna and knocking Fortuna out in the 11th round. Is this the upset of the year? What a tremendous result. And you know what, all that was just perseverance, eh? He battled through not massive pockets of adversity, but he had to take some big punches, the commitment he showed, the good upper body movement, the good head movements that Sosa showed, and maybe Fortuna messing around those early rounds cost him.
He's in tears, Sosa. He's in tears as he embraces the former champion Fortuna. I don't think he can quite believe what he's done. And tonight in China, we have seen what it means to fighters and boxers to get to the very top of the mountain. We had Cermeno finally getting it done, the Venezuelan, and now this New Jersey man, Jason Sosa. That first punch was a huge one, but there was...
Oh, the right hand, the left hook was good. The right hand put him to sleep pretty much, and then the left hook, he's already on his way down there. Brilliant stoppage for the referee, because first of all, you would think he was okay to carry on. Then once the referee waved it off, you see how unsteady on his legs was Fortuna. That's a fantastic stoppage there from the referee.
Yeah. Friends and family cannot believe it. I think that might be his mum, actually. Cannot believe it that he's done it. And America has another world champion. That was an excellent decision by the referee. I'm amazed that Fortuna got up. It was such a heavy knockdown. He was almost out when the first punch landed.
To be honest, Sosa, if he wouldn't have won that fight, Sosa, he wasn't going to fight ever again. No one would want to fight him. He's a nightmare to fight. But no, he has this world title. He calls the shots now, and I tell you what, and it's a great division right now, the super featherweights, and there's nowhere near Lomachenko's level, even though he's a world champion. But I say he'll be in some great fights there now, Jason Sosa. A return with Nicholas Walters, maybe. Now he's a champion of the world.
Oh, absolutely right. Yeah, Bob will be probably working on that one already as we speak. But he's still, look how emotional he is. Incredible moment for him, just incredible.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we now get our two fighters to center ring. We make this one official.
What a night in China. What a night of stories and upsets.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we get our two fighters.
Ricardo said to him, discipline. It's pretty much echoing what Barry said. You know, perseverance, discipline. Call it what you will. Keep going. Never give up. Try again. That's been the motto tonight. And here we're about to get full confirmation of Jason Sosa's moment of glory.
And Fortuna, boxing so well, a little bit of flash in the early rounds, taking it a little bit easy, taking too many rests. He'll regret that looking back now, where he rocked Sosa in a couple of those early rounds. And he just let Sosa in, and Sosa just kept an honest approach throughout the fight, and deserved the win in the end.
Starts about 32 seconds into round number 11. Your winner by TKO, and the new WBA Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Jason El Canito Sosa.
A champion of the world.